48 hours before they begged me to save them, they told me I wasn't worth promoting. I watched my phone light up with missed calls. 23 pleas for help, and I didn't answer a single one. 2 days earlier, I walked into that office believing 12 years of sacrifice meant something. Turns out it meant nothing.
This is what happened next.
"48 hours before they begged me for help, they told me I wasn't worth promoting. The snow was falling so hard I could barely see through my windshield. I sat there in the parking garage, engine running, staring at my phone. 23 missed calls in the last 2 hours, all from work. Brandon's name flashing over and over. I didn't answer a single one. 48 hours ago, these same people told me I wasn't worth promoting. Now they were begging me to save their entire operation. Because in the last 48 hours, I'd stopped doing all the extra work that kept their world from falling apart. My name is Claire Patterson. I'm 42 years old, and until this week, I was the invisible engine that kept Pinnacle Solutions running. This is what happens when invisible people stop holding the ceiling up. 48 hours earlier, I'd been at Pinnacle Solutions for 12 years. 12 years of 60-hour weeks. 12 years of missing school plays and parent-teacher conferences. I'd missed 47 of my daughter Riley's events in the last 3 years alone. I counted them. Tuesday afternoon, I walked into Brandon's office for my promotion review. I had charts showing how I'd reduced errors by 42%. Documentation proving I'd saved the company $2.1 million last year. I was applying for Senior Operations Director. Brandon didn't even open my folder. "Claire, I really appreciate everything you do here, but we've decided to go in a different direction. We need fresh energy. We're bringing Mason Hayes on board as Senior Operations Director. He just finished his MBA at Harvard." Mason Hayes, Brandon's 26-year-old nephew who'd never worked a weekend in his life. "And where does that leave me?" I asked. "You'll continue in your current role. Mason will need someone experienced to show him the ropes. I'll need you to put together a comprehensive onboarding package over the weekend." Over the weekend. The same weekend Riley had her first choir solo. Understood, Brandon. I walked out with my presentation deck under my arm. The drive home on Highway 95 felt endless. Gray November sky, that particular kind of cold that seeps into your bones. I kept replaying that word. Experienced enough to do all the work, just not experienced enough to get the title or the salary. When I walked in at 6:15, Riley was doing homework. Reheated mac and cheese from Walmart sat next to her algebra textbook. "You're home early, Mom. Did you get the promotion?" "No, sweetie. They gave it to someone else. But you've been there forever. I do know everything." That's exactly the problem. I pulled out my phone and found my official job description. Manage daily operations within assigned scope. Coordinate with other departments as needed. That was it. That was my actual job. Not arriving at 7 a.m. to prep briefings. Not answering emails for 3 departments. Not staying until midnight, preventing crises nobody else knew were happening. I looked at Riley. "I'm going to be at your concert Friday night. Front row, and I'm going to be home for dinner every night this week." She looked skeptical. "Really? Because I'm going to start doing exactly what they pay me to do. Nothing more." Wednesday morning, I arrived at exactly 9 o'clock. Not 7:45 like always, 9 a.m. sharp. I used to arrive at 7 a.m. every single day. Now, 9 o'clock. Brandon was frantically looking for the briefing notes I always had waiting. Not today. My inbox had 47 new emails. I handled only what was addressed to me. Everything else got forwarded with a reference to the operations manual. Around 9:30, Emma rushed over. "Claire, thank God. The Granite Industries shipping issue came in overnight. They need that approval you always handle. That's a logistics matter, Emma. It goes through procurement, but you are the process. You're the only one who knows how. It's documented in the operations manual, Section 7, but that'll take hours. Granite needs an answer by noon. Then procurement should get started. By noon, the first cracks were showing. The Granite issue was stuck between 3 departments. What used to take me 10 minutes was turning into a war. Then the cascade started. Questions about systems I'd created, urgent requests for data only I knew how to access. Around 1:30, Lawson from sales appeared. "Claire, the Peterson account dashboard isn't updating. They're threatening to walk. $3 million in annual revenue. That integration should have been handed to IT for maintenance. But you've been maintaining it. That was never part of my official responsibilities. IT can figure it out from the code comments. How long will that take? I have no idea. That's not my department. Around 3 p.m., a young guy from IT showed up. We're getting critical errors from something called the legacy data bridge. Client data isn't syncing. Do you know about this? Of course I did. The custom system I'd built on weekends because the company was too cheap to pay for proper integration. Without it, nothing worked. Not dashboards, not billing, not the reporting our biggest clients depended on. That was a weekend project I built. It's not in the official IT system. Can you fix it? I'm not in IT, and fixing unofficial integrations isn't my job. But everything is breaking. You should escalate to your department head. At 4:59 p.m., I logged off and walked out. For the first time in 12 years, I turned off my work phone before dinner. When I walked in at 5:40, Riley was setting the table. "Mom, what are you doing home?" I finished work, but it's not even 6. She ran over and hugged me. "Can we practice my solo?" "Absolutely, that's why I'm home." We spent an hour on her choir piece, actually focused, not nodding while mentally drafting emails. Afterward, we made real dinner together. "You seem different, Mom." "Different how?" "Less stressed, like you're actually here." Riley's concert was in 2 days, front row, just like I promised. Friday morning, I arrived to absolute chaos. Brandon pacing, phone to his ear, face bright red. Emma crying at her desk. Executives I'd never seen before 11 a.m. already there. My inbox had 143 emails. Urgent. Granite Industries system failure. Critical. Peterson account threatening termination. Emergency. Morrison Inc. data discrepancy. Code red. Regulatory compliance deadline today. The systems I'd built had been down for 2 days. 3 major clients working with data that was days out of date. Granite discovered the problem during their quarterly review. Their entire Q4 rollout built on wrong data, threatening to pull their $8 million contract. Peterson's dashboard still broken. In contract review with competitors, Morrison discovered billing errors, overcharged $200,000, threatening legal action, and the quarterly regulatory filing due to the Department of Commerce by 5 p.m. today. Nobody had the data because everything was down. "Claire, they need you in conference room B. Byron Fisher is here." Byron Fisher, regional director from San Francisco. When Byron showed up unannounced, it was a disaster. The room was packed. Brandon, Byron, a corporate lawyer, 2 executives from headquarters. Mason Hayes in the corner looking sick. Claire, thank God. Brandon launched into frantic explanation. Mason taking notes, asking questions that showed he understood nothing. The lawyer cut in. Granite Industries threatening to terminate by end of day unless we restore functionality. $8 million in revenue. Peterson sent formal notice of contract review. $3 million. Morrison threatening legal action. Plus regulatory filing due by 5 p.m. that we can't complete. They all looked at me. "These issues stem from the system failures. Can you fix it?" Byron asked. "I can. The question is when." "What do you mean, when?" "I have the compliance review at 11. That's the regulatory filing. Missing it triggers automatic penalties. The review can wait," Brandon shouted. I looked at Byron, not Brandon. Missing the regulatory deadline means $50,000 per day in penalties, potential license suspension, mandatory audits. That affects every client, not just Granite. Silence. "What are our options?" Mason could handle it. "The fixes are documented. Excellent training for our new senior operations director." Mason's eyes went wide. "I don't know anything about this. I wouldn't know where to start. You have an MBA from Harvard. We don't have time for training. Then I can handle it, but I'll need to reschedule compliance. That means accepting the penalties and suspension risk. I'll need that in writing with executive authorization." Nobody moved. My phone buzzed. Text from Emma. "Baxter Industries, same issues. Suspending implementation. Baxter is now affected. They're suspending everything." The headquarters executive put his head in his hands. "That's our biggest new client. 12 million projected." Another email. "We also have the Walmart partnership audit. Can't produce reports without the systems. 45 million annually." Byron stared at me, like seeing me for the first time in 12 years. "Claire, something has changed in your approach this week. I've been thinking about my career, my legacy, and by constantly fixing problems outside my role, I prevented the company from understanding what actually makes it function. Let me ask you something. What happens when I retire? Get hit by a bus? Or accept that director position Baxter Industries offered me 3 weeks ago?" The executive's eyes snapped up. "What position?" Director of Operations, 35% salary increase, full remote. I haven't responded because of loyalty to Pinnacle. My phone buzzed. Text from Riley. Mom, concert tonight at 6:30. You promised. Are you still coming? Every executive staring at me, needing me to fix everything, to sacrifice my life for their emergency. An emergency they created by undervaluing me for 12 years. I typed back, I'll be there. Front row, promise, love you. Here's what I can do. Compliance review 11-1. Ensures we meet regulatory deadline, then 2 hours on repairs. Basic functionality, not complete optimization. What about Granite? I can attend their 2 p.m. meeting. Walk them through our plan, but no complete fix. They decide if they wait or terminate. At 5 p.m., I'm leaving. My daughter has her concert. She has a solo. I've missed 47 of her events in 3 years. Not missing this one. You're letting this company burn because of a school concert? Brandon said. I looked at him. No, Brandon. I'm letting you experience the consequences of your decisions. You had 12 years to staff properly, to document systems, to develop people instead of relying on me while you took credit. You wanted fresh energy. You chose family connections over 12 years of experience. Those were your decisions? This is the result. Byron held up a hand. Everyone except Claire, step outside. Once the room cleared, only Byron and a woman remained. My name is Patricia Chen, Executive VP of Operations for the Western Region. I flew in from San Francisco this morning. I've reviewed your file. 12 years, top 5% performance reviews, not a single client complaint. 0 system failures under your management, yet 1 promotion in 12 years. 12% raise that didn't match inflation. Meanwhile, you built systems the entire company depends on. Manage 45 million in client relationships. Handle compliance across 3 departments, all while being paid half market rate. Byron leaned forward. Claire, we've made serious mistakes for years. We created dependency on you without recognition or compensation. We let personal relationships influence advancement. We exploited your competence instead of rewarding it. We'd like to offer you Director of Operations, reporting to me. 40% salary increase, full restructuring authority, hiring authority for 4 senior positions, complete autonomy. What about Mason? Mason withdrew. He recognizes he's not ready. And Brandon? Transitioning to strategic consulting. Operations reports through you. I need time to think. I need your answer Monday at 9, but we need your help today. I'll handle compliance and Granite this afternoon. Basic repairs, but at 5 p.m., I'm leaving for my daughter's concert. That afternoon, Mason found me. Claire, I need to apologize for accepting a position I wasn't qualified for. Mason, you're 26, you're smart. This isn't your fault. The fault is a system valuing connections over competence. Can I help today? I want to learn. Pull up a chair. We worked 3 hours. I showed him not just fixes, but why systems connected the way they did. This is incredibly complex. My MBA never covered this. Business school teaches frameworks. This is what happens when frameworks hit reality. By 4:30, basic functionality restored. Granite syncing, Peterson updating, Morrison corrected. I checked my watch. 4:45. You're leaving? My daughter has a concert, but there's still work. It'll be here Monday. Tonight I have somewhere more important to be. I made it to Riley's school with 20 minutes to spare. The auditorium packed with families, 3rd row, center, where she'd see me. When the choir walked out, Riley scanned the audience. The moment she spotted me, her face lit up. Then came her solo. She stepped forward, hands trembling, took a breath, sang, clear and strong and beautiful, hit every note. The auditorium erupted, but she only looked at one person, me. After, she ran over and hugged me. You came. Of course I came. I promised. You always promise, but never come. That hurt. Because it was true. I know, sweetie, but things are different now. We went for ice cream on Main Street, just us, talking about the concert and friends and holidays, normal parent-daughter things I'd been missing for 12 years. Mom, are you going to keep coming to my stuff? That's the plan. What changed? I realized the most important work isn't at the office. It's right here, with you. Good, because Emma's mom never misses her concerts, and I was getting jealous. That hit harder than anything Brandon or Byron said. My daughter watching other parents show up while her mom was in emergency meetings. That ended now. Monday morning, 8:30 a.m. Not 7 like before, not 9 like last week. 8:30, a new beginning. I'm accepting your offer, but 3 non-negotiable conditions. Go ahead. First, full authority to hire and develop internal talent. People overlooked like I was. Promote based on competence, not connections. Agreed. Second, comprehensive cross-training program. What happened last week never happens again. No critical knowledge in one person's head. Agreed. Third, completely non-negotiable. 9 to 5:30, Monday to Friday. No weekends unless I define it as emergency. No regular late nights. My daughter comes first. Always. That's not a problem. That's how it should have been from the beginning. We shook hands. 8 weeks later, I'd restructured everything. Clear roles, documented processes, proper redundancy. Hired 4 senior staff, 2 overlooked internally, 2 external. Documented every system with a dedicated support team. Mason worked harder than expected. Not because he had to, but because he wanted to earn his place. 4 months in, handling issues independently. Brandon excelled once he stopped managing operations he didn't understand. His strategic thinking helped land 2 partnerships worth $20 million. 6 months after that parking garage, working sustainable hours. Home by 5:45. Present for every one of Riley's events. One Thursday evening, doing homework together. Mom, you seem really happy. I am, sweetie, because of your new job? Partly, but mostly because I'm finally doing what matters most. What's that? Being your mom. That was always the most important job. The next month, I spoke at a conference in Washington, D.C. I told them the real story about being undervalued for 12 years, about the moment I stopped making other people's blindness my problem. 15 people came up after with identical stories: overworked, undervalued, overlooked. I gave them all the same advice: document your value, know your worth, never accept less than you deserve. That night, Riley was working on a school project about people who inspire you. Who are you writing about? You? Mom? Me? Why? Because you taught me the most important lesson, that standing up for yourself isn't selfish. It's necessary. You showed me what it looks like to know your worth and refuse to settle for less. I sat next to her, throat tight. Right there, helping with homework, I realized something. The promotion, the salary, the authority. None of that was the real victory. The real victory was teaching Riley she deserves to be valued, that her time matters, that she should never accept being invisible. That was the legacy I wanted, not systems or processes or millions saved, but the lesson that sometimes the most powerful thing you can do is stop accepting less than you deserve and be home for dinner every night to prove it. Your value doesn't disappear because people can't see it. The question isn't whether you're worth more. The question is whether you're willing to stop making other people's blindness your emergency. Sometimes the most radical thing you can do is follow your job description and go home to the people who actually value you.